Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Melissa here, and I want to do a video talking about two things, right? So the first video to talk about, because I try to just give you guys advice on like what helped me on my spiritual path to get to where I'm at, and my goal is just give you guys advice of what I did, and hopefully that helps you guys, you know, like through my actual experiences. So one of the things that I had to do and I learned in my early experiences was basically learning how to basically silence my mind. So, you know, when they talk about meditation is really understanding your thoughts. So you're kind of analyzing your thoughts. And the reason why you really want to understand your thoughts is because you understand that your thoughts create reality. And because your thoughts create reality, by analyzing your belief systems, the way you process information, the way that your perception is, like, do you look at things from a negative perspective, or do you look at things from a positive perspective? Are you always being the victim and blaming other people, or are you taking full responsibility for things that you can? Are you projecting your insecurities for other people, then criticizing them just as a way to process it for yourself? So initially, just analyzing your thoughts really analyzes how you're processing your reality. Eventually, you want to get to a point where you're not just really analyzing your thoughts, but you can get to the point where you can just like really silence your thoughts. So what I mean by silencing your thought is you can actually stay still in your inner dialogue, you know, which is basically that inner voice in your consciousness is basically still. So it doesn't really have any thoughts. It's just like quiet. So the reason why you want to do that, because eventually when you get to a point of just being able to silence your operating system, which is your consciousness, then you get to a point where you can actually get to a point of receiving. So they usually talk about this in like Sufism and Kabbalah and even in Christianity, where you're want to receive the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit is like that Christ consciousness. So eventually you want to become to the point where you're just like the cup or the chalice, right? When esoteric Christianity, they talk about the chalice, and the chalice is receiving the bird. So you'd always see like that dove going into the bird, into the cup, or you would see like a water being poured into that cup. So the water is supposed to be your consciousness, where you can be still, and then therefore you can allow the consciousness of the Holy Spirit or the all or the universe be able to receive the gnosis or the wisdom from the upper universe. So my recommendation is in your meditation, get to the point where you can be very still with your consciousness and be still with your mind, so you can just observe and receive without actually always having something like decoding or processing. So you basically want to get to the point where your operating system or your consciousness is in the point of receiving or surrendering to be able to receive, as opposed to being active, be receptive. And that's my quick video. Hope you like it. Peace.